All right, just a couple other key skills you're going to need even at the layer level, and that is transforming. Now, technically transforming, I'm transforming right now where I'm translating right now, where I'm moving something up and down in the two-dimensional space. That's called translation. But we're going to need to do things like maybe resize, which is known as scaling. We're going to need to rotate things. And so the way we do that is we can do it on any layer that's not the special background layer. Of course, this isn't a special background layer because in the last video I converted it to a regular layer. The way we would do that, well, the quick way is to hit Command-T, and that brings us into the free transform tool. Another way to get into that same thing is to go to Edit, Transform, and we see here that we have all of these things. Actually, what I was doing was this free transform. This one will keep it to these various things. We'll go through those. But I'm at free transform. Now with free transform, I can do a lot of different things. If I mouse over the corner here, right, you'll see that I can go ahead and just drag it and rotate it. If I hold shift, it'll rotate in 15-degree increments. And so that's one thing to know. Now in Photoshop, they have changed it very recently, and I actually hate this change, is that if you resize something, if you just go to the corner, right, and just click on it and hold and drag, you'll resize something, and it will resize with the aspect ratio. It used to be that you had to hold shift to not change the aspect ratio, but now they've changed it in Photoshop that you have to hold shift to play with the aspect ratio. And that's probably good for new people coming into Photoshop, but again, I have like 20 years of experience where I had to hold shift, and so really frustrating me because just muscle memory, I'm always trying to hold shift. And conversely, you just used Illustrator, right, or you may have used Illustrator, and they still keep that you have to hold shift in Illustrator. So it's very frustrating that's different between the two programs. Anyway, we can change, obviously, any kind of thing we want. When you're done, you can either hit this checkbox, you can hit return on your desktop, or on your keyboard, and you have your image changed and rotated. Now there's other things that you can do to transform again. So if you see up here, we can go into something like, let's skew. So if I skew, right, you see I can kind of, that's what skewing is. We go to Edit, Transform, Distort. Distort, we can actually just grab one of these handles and kind of change the way things are. If we go to, actually, let's I'm going to show you this real quick here. This is the history palette. Now this doesn't last forever. There will be a point where you can't go back and you can only go back to the original. But if I go to this history palette right here, I can actually kind of just go back in time. Again, it doesn't go forever. It doesn't go as far as Illustrator goes because these raster manipulations take a lot more memory than say the vector ones. But anyhow, we can go up here to Edit, Transform, Perspective, right? So that will kind of, right, do something like that. Now, if you don't want to accept a transform, you can hit this right here. You could hit Escape on your keyboard. That will not accept it. Continuing on through what's here, there's this warp, which is interesting, right, where we can kind of play with these things like this. So that's kind of interesting, like grab an area and kind of shape it. That is pretty interesting. Edit, Transform. We can just have it rotate things. I don't have to click on these, and obviously flip horizontal and flip vertical, right, so that we can change the orientations of things. So that's super handy to know how to do transforms to get things done in Photoshop, because that's pretty much one of these key skills here.